Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It is Vicky here today with yet another zoologist scent to warm your winter day. Unless you're in Australia, then no. But it is cold and we need something. We need something to spritz and make us feel better. So we're back. I don't know how many there are. I'll have to do a count because I think we're on 7 or 8 and there's quite a few. So we're in for the long haul. But I did find the smaller samples. As promised, there's not that many, but enough to make us happy. Oops, there's a straggler. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pick one of these. I forget what's in here. And Musk deer. Musk deer. So this one is clear, and we are ready to roll. I mean, I know about deer. I know deer very well. You know, I go to the mountains a lot. My grandparents lived in the mountains. And, of course, when you're going there for the holidays, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's winter, at least where I'm at, and then you're going up these mountains, and a deer will rush out. And I remember once, I was really young, we headed towards a drop-off of 100 feet down. So I'm not afraid of deer. I'm more afraid of the drop-off that was associated with the deer. It just makes me nervous. I love deer. I think they're beautiful, but I don't know. That experience really scarred me as a kid, so I'm still terrified of that and won't drive through mountains if I can help it. That experience really scarred me. I love the deer though. Beautiful, majestic, just graceful yet powerful creatures. I think they're glorious. You know, it's interesting because I also had a run-in with reindeer in Finland when I was driving, and they're a lot bigger. Let me tell you, especially when they're in a group, it's like, yikes. So, here is what this handsome gentleman looks like. We have the Musk deer. Now, this one's going to run you $210, much like T-Rex. Some of them are a little bit more expensive. Those are the two that I've run to thus far. At the time of this video, the other ones are $175. So, brutal winter winds buffeted the Siberian forest. The tall trees long for summer's return. Me too. For centuries, musk deer have been hunted to near extinction, coveted for their fragrant musk pods. The good thing is that zoologist does not use that. They are not about that. No animals were harmed. They're not about it. So there you go. They use synthetic because we would rather use that than hurt an animal. So that's good. That's a good thing. So the top notes are cardamom, calamus oil, rose. Heart notes are sambac jasmine absolute, patchouli, cedarwood atlas, labdanum absolute, and the base notes are ambret absolute, orris absolute, Laos oud, and Australian sandalwood. Yes. So this is going to be an adventure. It sure is. So here we go. Whoa, that was really weird. It kind of just went. We still get the idea, and then one here. Boy, this one's very difficult to work with. That's okay. That's okay. I don't normally do that, but I have to because this one is not behaving. Okay. Ooh. That's a strong scent. Not in a bad way. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's very strong. This is not a tame scent. This comes out with a bang. So it's kind of like you're driving down the road and then a deer goes, a huge deer, okay? Like one of the bucks, the big bucks, goes flying out into the street and you're like swerving and you're hitting your brakes, right? And then it just goes boink and bounces to the other side. It's that kind of a shock. Yes. Wow. So the first notes that I'm getting through is a hint of cardamom, lots of patchouli. Lots of patchouli. You're getting hit with a hint of cardamom, and then I'm really getting that cedar and sandalwood. They're both coming through. Ooh, yeah. It's a lot with jasmine. There definitely is that jasmine component too. So there's a lot. You know, it's a very heavy scent. And it's interesting because they said it was like Siberia. And it's kind of that feeling of, you know how winter kind of envelops you? Especially when it's really dark, the days are getting longer, and it's really cold, and it's almost like the air is just so different. Like in summer, it seems like it could float and go forever. And for me, when I feel winter, it just feels like a cloak almost. It's like the air is dropped down and it just clings a little bit more than summer. If that makes sense, summer's just lighter and more expansive. I live in a strange world with the way I describe things, but that's how I feel. And this is very much that cloak of heaviness and darkness, but not in a bad way. It's not, it doesn't smell bad at all. It's a heavier scent. This has quite a punch to it. Yeah. It's so heavy that at first it's really hard to pull out the individual components. I was able to, but it's just so strong that it's like, boom, it's just pow, a punch straight to you. Where the individual notes haven't had a chance to fully come out yet. They're there, but it's just a mishmash of strong scent. But I'm starting to get a little bit of that, I hate calling it that, the barnyard effect. The animal note, just a hint, which doesn't surprise me because if you've been around deer, they can't take bubble baths. They don't, I don't either because I don't like them. I'm a shower girl, but they don't. And then their coats get really thick. And so, they're keeping a little bit of their scent in. It happens. It's okay. And it's a little bit here. Just a touch of that animal in there. Wow. Yeah. So this one's interesting. I don't get the rose. I'm not sure I could spot calamus. Personally, I do get the jasmine, the cedar wood, definitely. The musk. I don't get the or maybe a tad bit of the orris if I was looking for it. It's kind of like almost like an iris scent. It's just this mishmash. It's very interesting. I feel like right now the notes are just so strong. They're not individually popping out and saying, hi, I'm here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait an hour to let this one kind of disperse a little bit and see where we go. I did forget to smell my shirt. We love this part. Wow. So on the shirt, it's mostly sandalwood and cedar. I'm getting a very like woodsy kind of scent. Yeah, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Mostly cedar wood with a little bit of patchouli. So that's interesting. No floral scent here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for about an hour. We'll visit it to see where it goes because I'm not really sure where it's going. And I'm curious to see where it morphs, but it's not morphing quickly. And I think it's because, much like T-Rex, though very different, the notes are very heavy. So it takes a while to dissipate and kind of show itself. So we're going to wait a little bit and let it show itself. Okay, it's been about an hour and I now have the light on. This room is so poorly lit. I live in the city and it's so poorly lit. And let me tell you, it looks like the shadows are enveloping me when I don't have the lights on correctly. It's terrible. It's like, the darkness. Much like this scent, actually. No, this scent is not like that at all, but it's interesting. It's morphed. You definitely get the cardamom still. The cardamom is really present along with a floral undertone. A slight, like, floral undertone. It almost smells like iris to me. And then you get the cardamom with iris and then this like spiciness. It's so interesting. This is such a spicy scent, and I think it's because of the cedar mixed with the cardamom, mixed with like the iris, which is a little bit sharper. Hint of jasmine. I never got the rose. I never did end up getting that rose in there. But those are and a little bit of sandalwood hinted in there. That's pretty much the notes that I'm still getting at this point. The animal scent, the animal note, that muskiness of the oud, I would imagine, has slowly diminished a little bit for me. There's still musk, but it's not the animal hint that I got 5 minutes after wearing it. That's dissipated at this point, but it's more of just a wearable musk, rather than more the animal scent of it. So more of a white musk at this point, perhaps. I don't know, but it's very light. Yeah, this one, that's part of it. This is still a very heavy scent. Very heavy, yeah. And here it's mostly cedar and patchouli. The patchouli is still here, but it's mostly cedar and patchouli on clothing. That's interesting. So what I'm finding is that this is a very heavy scent. I don't know if it represents deer to me so much. You definitely want that muskiness, especially because they used to be used for that, unfortunately. But now most places use synthetic. And so you're going to get that muskiness because of the history of the animal. But I don't know. It's not bad. It's very spicy to me. And it just doesn't necessarily feel like a deer to me. But I know it's a musk deer, so it's different. It just smells really spicy. This almost reminds me more of camel than camel did for me, but understand that's a chemistry thing. So on my chemistry, camel just smelled like straight up barnyard. I hate saying it, but that animal note was all I got. Oh, with some frankincense. So there you go. But on the shirt, it's very cedar wood with a little bit of sandalwood and patchouli. So it's a little bit more woodsy with more, I don't know. This almost seems like a mystical shop. Have you ever been to one of those crystal shops that you go into? I was obsessed with them when I was a teenager and started working, and I would buy crystals like to wear around my neck and stuff, and like really cool oils. They had like really cool oils that would last forever. I was really into that. And this is what that kind of reminds me of. It's very mystic shop, very mystic, or you're going to a fortune teller or an astrologer. That's what this reminds me of. It's that scent. It's very mystical. I don't know if I would use that to describe a musk deer. For me, a deer isn't quite this heavy. It's strong, powerful, yet graceful and quick. It's just poof. And I think it's because we're talking about Siberia and possibly winter. This is definitely a winter scent. That maybe it's that strong, thick coat during the winter and what that represents. But I don't necessarily know if I get musk deer. I mean, I get musk, but I don't know if I get deer from this. This is more of camel to me. It's interesting, and it keeps morphing to a degree, but now it's starting to really just stick to that spicy, fragrant fortune teller shop, crystal shop. That's what I'm getting from it. It's very strong. Whew, it is very strong. It's an hour and it is still going strong. So where cow maybe did not have the longevity that I desired, this one does. This one is here to stay. It's a powerhouse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit this in, about 4-5 hours, and we're going to talk about it again. So here ends our journey with musk deer. Yeah, it's been about 5 hours. And she's still going strong. Yeah, let me tell you. It definitely is a stronger one of the Zoologist catalog that I've used so far. This one definitely is a powerhouse, much like T-Rex. This one's going to stay with you longer. So if you're looking for silage or longevity, I think this is the one that you're looking for. That being said, it is a very heavy scent. It's very heavy. It's almost like a blanket. It's almost like you went to a mystic shop, like I mentioned before, and there's crystals, and you're looking at it, it's dark and moody with all the candles, and you're looking at the crystals or whatever, and it's like too warm in there, and so it's really making the scent go, this scent. And it's almost like a warm, mystic blanket hug. That's what this is like. Yeah, it's like, here you go. And you're just cozy. and they give you some tea of some sort, and all is right with the world. So yes, that's what I get from this. This is very, this is very mystic. And that's not a bad thing. It's just not what I was expecting. Again, this is something I would have thought more for camel rather than musk deer. I really don't get musk deer from this when I think of the scent. It just seems more camel. It really does. But that's okay. Everybody has their different viewpoint. But it is really heavy. I could see how this perhaps, I think it's unisex, but I could see how many would think it was a little bit more masculine in its presentation. It's strong. It has that cardamom. It has that slight undertone of musk with just spicy and fragrant. It's almost hard to pull out the individual notes. This one is just so strong and everything melds together so well that it's really hard to pull out the individual notes. I could get a little bit of the cedar. I can get a sweetness of the floral, but yet a tanginess. And then the darkness of the oud. I definitely get that from it. It's the underlining darkness of it. Here it's more sandalwood and cedar. Sandalwood, cedar with a hint of patchouli. Interesting. It's so much lighter on my clothing than it is on my arm. On my arm, it's really bringing out those deep, dark notes. You know, it's kind of like the dead of winter. It's the longest day of the year, and it's like -20. And it is so cold. And this is what this reminds me of. It captures winter really well, but not the animal so much for me. Now, would I buy this one? For me, probably not. It's a bit too heavy for me. Though I appreciate it, I think it's beautiful. I think it is. It's really beautiful. I just don't think it's my type of scent. It's just a little bit too... it's not incense. It's not incense at all. It's just the different notes of the cardamom and the cedar and a little bit of the jasmine and the florals and the oud. It's really strong and a little bit too strong for me, where I think I would be very much aware of it and a little bit too sensitive to it. So it's a beautiful scent. And boy, is it a powerhouse, but I think it's just not my type of scent. But that being said, it's beautifully crafted. I think I would put this one as, I could say, stepping away from it being my type of scent, because that's not fair. I'm going to give this one about a 7, because I think a lot of people would enjoy it. On a personal level, I'd probably put it at about a 5.5. Yeah, it's just there. Maybe a 6. I appreciate what it is. It's beautiful, but it's not a scent that I would wear. But I think for the majority of the population, this one's very safe for Zoologist. Very safe. I actually thought this one was going to be one of the unique ones that was going to surprise me. It really, it didn't. You know, it's not like camel, which really surprised me. It's not like T-Rex, which surprised me. It's just a scent that I wouldn't equate with musk deer, but just a winter general, a dark winter night perfume. So if that makes sense, yeah, but it's good. And boy, is it a powerhouse. So if you like that, you may really love this, but it is heavy. Yeah. So yeah, but it's still an excellent scent. So if you're into that, if you love this and you don't care for light florals or light aquatic scents, and you want something that people are going to take notice, and you want something comforting yet strong, it's like a pair of arms around you, you know, just and you feel safe and good. Not a scary set of arms grabbing you, a safe, happy place, and they're wrapping a blanket around you and hugging you. That's what this is with the very spicy tea. This is what this is. It's a warm winter hug. So you know what? If that's for you, you're going to love this. If you're in a lighter scents, this might be a little bit of a harder sell. So there you go. That is my experience with musk deer. Let me know what you think down below. I'm curious. I'm wondering what year this came out, because I'm wondering If they got safer as time went on, I don't know. I'll have to look at that. I think, it may have changed over the years, but I don't know when this one came out. But yeah, I think it'll be very pleasing to many people. So there you go. With that, have a fabulous day, my friends. Bye.